Now with that context, let's go ahead and jump in and look at GX Cloud as it is today. Nevin and Rachel, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Once again, welcome to our GX Cloud public preview launch. We're really excited to give you a demo of the great features of GX Cloud and discuss how GX Cloud can provide a solution for many of today's data quality challenges. My name is Nevin Tan.
And I'm Rachel House. We're both developer advocates at GX. Now, in our past lives as data developers, we saw our fair share of data quality issues and how they impacted company operations and trust. We've had experience with the consequences of bad data, like broken downstream dashboards and suboptimal data products. We've been on the receiving end of that call from the C-suite asking why all the data is wrong. After experiencing firsthand the challenges of using and relying upon real-world data within an organization, we're really excited to showcase GX Cloud and the GX Python API as a platform to define and monitor data quality issues within an existing data ecosystem, as well as proactively surface issues. Let's imagine that Nevin and I are data developers for an online department store where users can purchase a variety of home goods. We've recently consolidated our company's data storage within Snowflake.
Rachel and I want to vet our orders data to ensure its quality, since it's a key data set that is used in a number of downstream dashboards and models that monitor our store's performance. Now, in our orders data set, each row represents an order, and each column contains a different attribute or field that is related to that order, such as the data was purchased, the data was shipped, the payment, and the review score.
To validate our orders data quality, we've started by creating a data source and data asset in GX Cloud that represent the Snowflake schema and table containing the orders data. GX Cloud itself is not connected directly to our Snowflake data via the cloud assets. Rather, we're able to use the GX agent as an intermediary between GX Cloud and our data stores to ensure that all data access and processing occurs within our organization's deployment environment. As data devs, one of the first things we normally do after connecting to a new data set is profiling that data set. We want to make sure that there's nothing clearly amiss with the data set and that we're seeing reasonable summary statistics for that data. We're able to use GX Cloud, the UI directly, just the click of a button, as you've seen, to profile and explore our orders data at a high level. We can get a broad understanding of our data set by surveying the descriptive metrics that were calculated, including column types, statistical summaries, and null percentages. The easy generation of profiling information and data set introspection is particularly useful when we're ready to start defining expectations for our orders data. And speaking of which, let's dig into expectations. Expectations are simple, declarative, verifiable assumptions about the way you expect your data to be. Another way of thinking about them is as unit tests for your data. Expectations enable us to define and validate our orders data based on technical and business domain knowledge. Expectations are a differentiating capability of GX Cloud and are incredibly useful when it comes to creating a shared language of data quality within our data development teams, as well as across teams that include non-technical stakeholders.
As you can see in our example expectation suite, which is just a collection of expectations, expectations use plain, self-explanatory language that makes it clear what we're assessing from our data. We're able to define and read our data tests more like natural language rather than traditional code. As a bonus, our expectations can serve not only as our tests, but also as our data documentation.
GX Cloud offers a core collection of expectations that cover a variety of data quality domains, some of which we've used here for our example suite for our orders data. However, if Nevin and I found that we needed something more bespoke to fit the particulars of our business data, we could opt to define custom expectations with the GX Python API that could be then used in concert with expectation suites in our cloud workspace. Now, to define some expectations for the orders data, we'll go ahead and create a new expectation suite, which I'll call orders expectations. I'll add 2 expectations to address a few test cases that we care about when it comes to our orders data. First, I'll go ahead and add an expectation that checks the validity of the order payments. Now, based on my knowledge of the orders as a data dev, I'd expect that all orders have a non-negative payment value. So I'm going to go ahead and add an expectation that the minimum payment value column shouldn't be below 0. Pop a 0 in there. And to help inform my team of the expectation I've made and my intentions, I'll just add a note here saying that all orders should have a positive payment value. Go ahead and click save for that. And then second, I'll add an expectation to check the validity of our order ratings, which I expect to only be categorical values between 1 and 5. So we'll expect the column values to be in a set for the review score column. And I'll go ahead here and add our valid ratings from 1 to 5. And similarly to our first expectation, I'll just add a note for my colleagues that our valid ratings are 1 to 5. Go ahead and click save. And now that I've defined the expectations, I'm going to go ahead and validate these expectations on the orders data by running the expectation suite via a checkpoint. So as we see validating spinning, GX is now running queries against our orders data based on those expectations that we just defined. And it's using the query results to determine if the data meets or fails those expectations. And I can see, based on my validation results, that I have 1 passing and 1 failing expectation. Now, as we all know, data quality, it's a team effort. Maintaining high quality data is a collaborative endeavor as well as a technical endeavor. And oftentimes, the knowledge of what data should look like is spread across teams, including both technical and non-technical stakeholders. As I'm creating my expectation suite, perhaps I realized that I actually don't know what the constraints of the data should be, and that I need the expertise of other people in my organization. So at this point, I may ask my teammate Nevin to help me investigate the validation results and improve the suite until we're both happy that we have a comprehensive set of data tests in place. Let's now take a look at Nevin's screen.
Now that I'm viewing GX Cloud from my machine, I'll take a look at what Rachel has set up. She's told me about the expectation suite that she created, so let me open that up and review the expectations in it. I can see that she's created 2 expectations, and if I view the validations, I can see that 1 has passed and 1 has failed. Let's investigate why that might be and help give some insight into how we can address the failing ones. Okay, I can see here that based on the validation results, even though we've specified our review score should be between 1 and 5, we do have some unexpected rows that have an invalid rating of -1, and that comprises about 5% of our results. However, based on my own experience and knowledge within our orders software, I know that we do actually occasionally see review scores of -1 due to a known bug in our store's website. I know that we actually clean this up downstream, so I'll codify that a certain percentage of the unexpected values for this column is actually okay, and that we'd like to see our review score field meet the expectation at least 90% of the time. To do that, I'll adjust the expectations mostly parameter to 90. To do that, I'll just edit the expectation, and I'll change the mostly value from 100 to 90. And I'll add a comment to explain why I've made that change.
And if I want to see the changes that Nevin has made to the expectation back on my screen, then I can just check out the expectation suite change log. Changes on data quality checks are often a common source of organizational confusion. And having a change log to track the changes to our expectations over time is really valuable, as it provides an annotated history of changes to data tests that can serve as a decision log for data development within the company. So looking at this now, I can see for the review score expectation that Nevin has updated the specifications such that the reviews or the review values need to belong to the set of 1 to 5 at least 90% of the time. And I can also take a look at the notes to see that he's updated, just to give context to myself and other team members, that -1 is an okay score, there's a known bug, and we clean it up downstream. So now that we've updated that expectation, let's go ahead and revalidate our orders data. And checking out the results. Just as we anticipated, the suite passes now that we've updated that failing expectation. We've worked through a scenario in which we defined expectations, but then had to manually run our checkpoints from the GX Cloud UI in order to validate our data. In most real-world scenarios, new data is always arriving. Validation, it's not a one-time manual effort. So let's next explore a scenario that automates the runs of GX Cloud checkpoints and integrates data quality testing into an existing data pipeline architecture.
In our previous example, we created a data asset and expectations that validate the entire table. In reality, we ingest our orders data on a daily basis. So instead of checking all of the data, we want to make sure that each new day's data quality meets our expectations. In GX, we have the ability to create a data asset that automatically splits data into batches. You can specify the column in your data set that you would like to split on, as well as specify the interval. You can see here that we've created a data asset that uses the same database table as before, except that it's been split daily on the order purchase date column. And so instead of the 90,000 or so rows that we saw in the full table, we can see here in the latest day's data, there's about 230 rows. Now, it's great that we have the ability to check our data on a daily basis, but it would be pretty inefficient and even a little brittle to rely on someone having to log into GX Cloud and manually run this every day. The great thing about GX Cloud, though, is that it integrates seamlessly with an orchestrator, so you can plug it right into your existing pipelines. We're using Airflow as our orchestrator. And for those of you who are familiar with Airflow, Airflow uses DAG files to execute code based on a schedule that you define. As you can see here, the DAG file we use is really quite simple. We use the GX Python API to get the cloud context, and then we run the checkpoint based on the checkpoint name. Just 2 lines of code is all you need to execute the checkpoint in the DAG file. It's really as easy as that. Now, in our scenario, we ingest our orders at about 9 a.m. So we've set up Airflow to run our checkpoint daily at noon. You can see here that it's been running regularly over the past 6 days or so. So if I flip back to GX Cloud and take a look at our validations, we can see that most of the time our expectations have passed, but indeed sometimes they failed as well. Data quality means different things to different people, and defining data quality is a team effort. Furthermore, data quality is unique to an organization. Your organization's tooling and how you use it will be unique to your data and your business needs. You can see how GX Cloud can integrate into your existing data pipelines to empower you to configure it in a way that makes the most sense for you. Using GX, you have the flexibility in how you can identify, tackle, and remediate any data quality issues that might come up. That might mean using GX's abilities to send email or Slack notifications, or you might use your own infrastructure to drive the right actions based on the validation results. We really look forward to seeing what you do with it.
And with that, thank you for joining us for our GX Cloud demonstration today. We encourage you to sign up for GX Cloud, explore, and start running your own validations. And for those of you who have signed up for one of our workshops, we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nevin and Rachel.